Hi, this is Steve with Coin Stuff I Like, and I'm going to do a mint package opening on the 2024 Flowing Hair Silver Metal. But stick around. After I open the package, I want to go over some of the early grading figures. So let's take a look at that package opening.
All right, let's see. Let's see what we got here. Let's reach in, get the box. There's the box. And there's the inner box. And I'll just open it upside down so I don't see that COA. And here we go. There we go. Let's see what we got. All right. There we go. It'll turn. All right. So this one here is going to go off to NX and become part of my flowing hair collection, which I'll come back to and show you that when this gets back from NX.
So there you have it. No privy mark, but that wasn't my intention for purchasing this. As this is going to go into my flowing hair collection. I've got a few others. I'll show you. I'll show you what I have once this one gets back from Annex. And this is the actual coin that I have, and it's going to Annex. And speaking of Annex, let's look at the early grading figures. So this is through October 23rd, 2024. So it's very early. Here's the thing we need to know as we look at these. We're seeing there's nothing reported that I could find going through the NGC population report. There's nothing reported on the flowing hair silver metal yet. If you happen to know what category it is and you have seen it, put a comment in the comment section of this video. But I couldn't find. I looked all over in all the usual places you'd expect to look for a U.S. Mint commemorative medal or U.S. Mint silver medal. Same thing with Annex. They hadn't put anything up yet on their population report, leaving CACG and PCGS. And the early numbers are, well, they require some deciphering. Now, for PCGS, and I didn't go into advanced release, first strike, regular grading population, all the different labels. I didn't go into them. I'm just at this point. I'm just looking at the overall percent that graded 70, and for the flowing hair metals without the privy mark, it's about 74% on very early figures, very low numbers at this point. And the privy mark is about 80%. So that gives a total of about 74% because the privy mark numbers get diluted out by the others. At CACG, they have 100%. Now, the reason for 100% is that the advanced purchase program, those big buyers, their coins go straight to the mint, and they usually have, for most issues, they'll have they'll put in a grade restriction, grade only 70 and nothing below. That's typical. And you can't do this as a common investor. I think the highest grade that you can request as the minimum grade is 69. as a common investor. But the big guys, the big boys, they can submit and request a minimum grade of 70. And that's probably what we're seeing here. And usually, and I'm going to show you another chart in just a moment, usually you'll see this number much higher. But if you look at the ones with the privy, I think that anything coming from the big boys, the bulk purchasing program, they're sending in anything with a privy mark. They're saying grade, any grade will work because they're still going to probably turn a profit on the privy marks because they carry such a high premium. Only 1,794 are to be made. So my suspicion is the big boys are sending in their submissions and a minimum grade of 70 for the ones without the privy mark, by and large, and then the ones with the privy mark, they're saying any grade as a minimum grade. And I think that's what's happening. If you come down here, I'm going to look at this for a few months, and we see that when you combine things, that these are not grading super high. They're not coming out of the gate with really high percent of 70s. All right. Now, I said I was going to come to another chart, and here's what I want to show you. This is on the right-hand side of your screen. There is a study that I did of the 2021 Morgan and Peace dollars, the percent 70, and I always looking at PCGS and NGC at that time, and this is over a little over 1.5 years from when the first grading report started coming out in late December through July of 2023. And you could see every one of them opened up with a pretty high percent 70 because of the bulk purchasing program requesting minimum grade of 70. So that brings the overall percentage of 70s up a bit. But once those are out of the way, because remember, they're going to the third-party grading companies early, before we even get our coins, they're at the third-party grading companies from the ABPP. But as collector submissions start coming in and they don't have a minimum grade, and they're just getting any whatever the graders are determining is the grade for that, you can see the net over time, over this 1.5 year period, is for those percentages to decline because the collector submissions don't have that minimum grade of 70, and so you're diluting the 70s with more and more 69s and below. Trust me, I looked. There are privy mark flowing here silver medals that got 68s. So did not even make 69. So we're splitting hairs at the top end of the grading scale, of course, but we're starting off with a pretty low percentage of 70s at the get-go. And this is early, but the tendency with modern issues is that once the ABPP stuff with mostly 70s starts getting diluted out over time, the percentage of 70s drops. It becomes harder and harder. Now, is this looking like it's going to replicate the Denver? This is the Denver Morgan from 2021, where it's becomes more, getting a 70 becomes very challenging, or more challenging, I should say. It doesn't look quite like that, but as I start looking at these things, maybe the privy marks might go this way, but certainly they'll go similar to the O, the Morgan O privy mark. It looks like it's starting off in that area, and we may see it end up down here. So very early, that's the caveat here. We don't even have two grading companies reporting yet, but it's an interesting first look. So I want to thank you for watching the opening. I'm not disappointed at all. Not getting a privy mark, although had I got that privy mark, it would have gone on to eBay the very next day. I would flip that thing, and then I would buy a non-privy mark flowing hair from my collection, and let somebody else enjoy that privy mark coin. But yeah, thank you for watching the opening, and hopefully you stuck around to see the early grading information, which is very interesting to me. Remember, buy stuff you like, but be smart about what you buy. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.